Okay, here we go. Psycho Schematics. I've been wanting to start this channel for a minute. I want to talk about psyops, psychology. I am a massive student in the game. Everybody from Carl Jung to Chase Hughes to Socrates to anyone I can find. I'm always deducing the psyop nature of man. I can't stand Machiavelli. I can't stand his ideas. I don't want anything to do with anything like that, right? And in fact, that's extremely important to me, to not be deceptive and to be able to identify deceivers, which is really hard to do. The ones that are extremely good at it, that have spent all their talent points at it, that are masters of operating inside the narcissistic construct, as Karlberg puts it, another genius in this 2Ks, anti-narcissism.org for that one, showing that there is a narcissistic personality disorder group out there, club out there, from the elite, and many of them, you know, from the elite level to parenting level and child level, and there's each one of these things has plenty of flying monkeys that just don't understand exactly how bad they're being deceived and exactly what tools they are. And each one of them usually has someone who knows who they are and they're calling them out, and that person's being heavily vilified by them. And as Chase Hughes says, the very easy indicator that there's a psyop going on is that someone needs to be silenced. If someone needs to be silenced, there's a psyop in play, because anytime you want to pass a deception where you've got to vilify or silence or discredit the truth teller, right? So they're going to automatically have that in their plan, such as that you can, if you're looking for it, if you've been educated in psyops, if you've read the anti-narcissism.org 15-minute web read, if you study Richard Grannon, if you study some of these experts on the topic, and there are many of them out there that have had these types of control freak people that get off on stealing innocence after time in control freakism, that get off on really weird dominations and deceptions just for the sake of feeling good about themselves, for deceiving people and being this master con artist. Some of us have had these people as parents, brothers, sisters, children, spouses and children, spouses whose mother's the same and whose daughter's the same, right? And you could be the most valiant person in the world, and you know what? That's why it happened. That's why you were targeted by these people, because they're specifically looking for not just someone who can keep themselves in tip-top shape, but one of these real superstar hosts out here that can logically, that can imaginably care for many parasitic things around them. And when people are superstars and they're hitting it out of the park, they'll tell you, finding and deterring and eliminating and disqualifying from your team these fakers is paramount to your stamina, to your progress ceiling, to your longevity of progress, to your maintenance, to your quality of life, right? Did we watch on some 11th day in 2001, two very tall objects come down in a very deceptive way, where the book published and sold of the investigation of it was also been highly debunked and shown to be another move of the deception, right? Could it be that the 20 years of Middle East conflict that followed that is all based on deception? Could it be all the conflicts before it were pre-planned and based on deceptions? Could there be a prince of deception pulling the strings on all this stuff? Could it be that I really truly have to watch what I'm saying as I am right now in the free speech country, right? Could it be that the assassination we just saw was an inside thing? And could it be that Candace Owens is right, is doing the right thing? And I bet there's valid information that it's a real thing, but she's doing what she should be doing anyway, even if it's not real, because her other friend that was the truth teller just got in the right, and that's looking more and more like a shady deception also. The death sting before that, reasonably, this if you listen to Michael Francesi, another truth-telling Jesus loyalist, is now saying there's no way that this story is the true story. There's no way that that's what happened. I mean, this guy could literally be walking around still, you don't know what we find out about all these conflicts and the people involved with them and the reasons that they happen later on, and the big FK assassin before. Do I really have to be this careful? Are there really no psyops and this is just crazy talk? Are people's lives truly not in jeopardy? Are these control freaks truly not out of control and this is just all whack-a-mamie? Is there not a psyop going on? Did these agencies of intelligence not create these masterful mind control, intentional programs using drugs and every other kind of thing? Speaking of the importation of these demonic black magic substances, none of those are in any way connected to this same alphabet arrangement that everybody puts their confidence and trust in, and to the point where if you question them, which should be done constantly, all the time, by everyone, but if you do it, if we do it, if that happens, you're all villains, you're all questioning, you're all the problem, you're all CT people, right? You're all crazy people. You're, pure bloods is what we are, honestly. Deep thinkers that still have all cognitive facilities because we didn't stupid them away. We didn't go for the last psyop. Because we're in a psyop. Not only are we in a psyop, we're in a psyop inside of a psyop, inside of a psyop, inside of a psyop, inside of a psyop, right? Because for generations and generations, you've been separated from nature. You've been separated from the nutritional diversity.com diet. You've been separated from the epicdawn.org morning routine. You've been separated from any kind of Spartan culture into a culture with 70% obesity, crazy chronic disease all over the place popping up in crazy young ages of people. And there's no checks and balances here. It's a very obvious money scheme. There's very obvious large enterprise involved with both pharmaceutical grade and street grade black magic, and listen, I'm the biggest fan of modern science, even though I'm even a bigger fan of natural science. Well, most definitely all of this stuff is super important. I'm not disqualifying any of it. And sometimes there's a great method from getting from point A to point B that isn't the best method anymore from point B to point C. And then, really we know through enough diverse experience, if we have it or know someone who has it or have read people who have it, right? Or have watched YouTube videos of people who have it. We need to protect our truth tellers. The whole reason I make any video on the internet at all is to maybe hopefully be supportive of more truth tellers coming out in the world, of how important and how beneficial it is to be a truth teller. Largest benefit is wings in stage 2. And while you've got to walk in the truth for long enough to see that's true too, because the path illuminates as you walk it, equal for the deceptive path. You will get better and better and be able to con more people, and you will hook up with higher level control freaks, and you guys will run higher level evil schemes, and you will vilify, and your Dr. Masuro Emoto water picture structure inside of you and many other symptoms and things and permanent changes will take shape in that respect. Also, if you're a valiant person and you figure out what from another truth teller, you know what I mean, who had a parent that's a control freak, you know what I mean, most deceptive, dubious levels that you could imagine, and those are what's known, because what's known about these control freak, evil scheme people, that's just surface level. There's so much grease and horror that nobody ever finds out about under that, right? So just remember that. What you're seeing on the surface is just surface level. And that's with good people too. A lot of these really great people like Candace, Owens, like these truth tellers that are just obviously married to the truth. They can't stand lies because they've seen, as Carl Jung says, the depths of hell. So now they can reach the heights of truths and heavens, right? And try to bring some of that to us, and we need to protect them and we need to support them, and that also contributes to your internal design. And the biggest cross, guys, is your final crossover, which is just a sum of all the little tiny crossroads that you're coming into every single day 100 times. I know what's right to do here. Am I strong enough to do it? Am I strong enough to tell the truth? Or am I gonna do 1 degree of weakness, 1 degree of lesser what I really know I need to do? Because we all know what we need to do, we just don't all do it, right? Some of us have temptations and tests that are horrible, you know what I mean? For the last 15 years, I've wanted to kill 10 people, an entire family, and they deserve to die. And because of that actuality, because of that truth, because that they've committed such a real injustice that requires that real justice, it's been very, very difficult for me not to do it, you know what I mean? And I know that other people are tested with other temptations, and it's whether they cross that line or they don't that they reap the consequences, because whether other humans give it to you or not, the cosmics has a way of working these things out. The logos will bring to you what you deserve over a long enough timeline. Trust me, that is true. And so if you earn it, I'm proud of you, you know? I'm proud of you either way, because there's nothing in nature that gives us the deceptive, highly spiritual warfare challenges that you evil people that follow the Prince of Deception give us. So for me to be extremely valiant, I overcome, not become, key point, overcome these psyoping, control freak losers that want to see everybody lose. I hang only with winners, and I grill them. I'm ruthless when it comes to my small circle. Do not fail on me. I will not fail on you. And that means if I do, I still don't, because I care enough that I make it right. I work super hard and do whatever it takes to make it right. I've been on the internet for 10 years, almost 10 years now. Probably about 7 years now. Slowly but surely just doing my reps because I went and lived in nature by myself, no bank account, no phone. Making sure that I didn't kill these people. I even contracted the name the Shovel Punisher because all I did was learn alternative agriculture, my relationship with nature. Adaptability is the greatest measure of intelligence. Pay attention to nature to understand everything better. All right, and there's a million more. The first thing that nature teaches you is politeness. Not just respect, but politeness, right? And so many people today don't have it. People who are super hardcore, super capable of violence, they don't need to project it because they're very comfortable with it. They know the price of it very well, and they actually don't want to go there. They don't have anything to prove because they know what they're capable of, and they don't need to go there. Some of you have something to prove to your friends who know you very well every day and that's a level of lameness. That's a level of real deal fakeness. You don't need to act, just be yourself. I am very capable of violence, but I'm the least violent, most anti-violent person you'll ever meet. Violence makes me sick. It's not necessary. It's a deception in itself because it's not necessary. It's temporary. It does harm. I'm just getting a message here come up from my father, the greatest man I know, personally, and it just over and over and over again, this guy is such a tough guy. Talk about going through hell and having the ability to see the heavens, but still in this super psyop programming world. You got a job with the government, you're around Washington, D.C. people every single day. The TV has done an excellent job programming everybody. The chemicals that are in people now, the nanotechnology, whatever it is, that kind of stuff seems to be highly effective when you look at how many people celebrated that bullet in the neck. It's just, that's crazy. That's crazy. I'm all even with my friends, right? Because I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico, the land of enchantment. Back in the day, it was like the most special place in the world. Breaking Bad ruined it. And I look at the I bet you social engineer space shuttle image identified that Albuquerque was a Spartan place. I said, you know what, we're going to do this, and that to wash them of it. Because they made a drug dealer show for California at the same time, but they made a fake city for that, so that they didn't do a real place. This thing, and because I'm from there, is one of the most exploitative pieces of visual art, unfortunately, that I've ever seen, and it was the #1 thing. So we have a show called Bad Breaking, True Albuquerque Stories. You can look that up, where me and people who are really from that are debunking a lot of that and telling you what it really was back then and giving you some true stories for some just so happens to be real types of characters from that show. For those of you who know what I'm talking about when I say you've experienced an injustice that you should have killed the people, you can go to voodoobreaker.com and kill control freaks and not go to jail. I think it might be a part of our destiny path, right? Like if you're supposed to kill somebody and you don't do it, because you can't, like things like child abuse. If you stand by child abuse and you don't kill the child abuser, or you don't protect the child in whatever way, that rides on you because you didn't do the right thing, right? You didn't do what was truly needed there, right? So at least you can knock a couple control freaks into the dirt, support our project there. You can get up early with us at epicdawn.org, or you can galvanize yourself as a truly strong and disciplined individual in the face of all these lying punks, right? And galvanize yourself and get your wings and stairs to the most important thing that you can do. And back to my dad. So I just shared with him Chase Hughes and Dr. Phil that just came out yesterday. Incredible interview. I don't want you to be deceived. I am a winner that just wants to see you win. I want to educate you on how excellent it's been for my life, how much real respect I get from real people for being a real guy, and I have a lot of problems. I have extreme complex PTSD. I have a lot of places where people will, one of my close friends told me, you're scary in that Mike Tyson way, that people are not sure what you might do. You know what I mean? And that's hard to be next to. I get it. I get that, but people who really know me know that yes, I have a twitch. Yes, I do have PTSD and it will jump out from time to time, but I'm actually the most protective, gentle, nonviolent, not dangerous, safety-making person that there is. I'm always looking out for people, and I want to donate to you too. Other guys with extreme PTSD are less likely to commit violence, are more likely to be protective. And some of us even it gets so extreme that it's autism, right? Where you're just really no longer, you're just much more heart smart and a little less brain smart all of a sudden. And that's an interesting process, especially considering scientific knowledges. Educate yourself, get yourself a knowledge base, and know that neurological cells are what make up the heart as well, right? Start to see beyond the limitations that even science has put on things. You can't listen to anybody anymore. I'm telling everybody now, go do the vision quest. It's mandatory, because when you get out to nature and then you come back, everything that's fake, it registers right on the screen like a video game, much more. You build something called intuition out there, and you can build it in here too, but you really build it out there, right? And if you stay long enough, you purify your soul, man, and if you can get to intense exercise, which is your longevity, if you can concentrate on your gut microbiome, which is your motor and your longevity, right, and your purity and your thought process, especially if you crack your brain and you see some of the most violent, horrific, horrible things you wouldn't think would exist in your wildest dreams go down, things that your brain doesn't want to ever see. Not only will you not conjure it in your wildest dreams, but you will forcefully avoid it when it's the reality in your face. There's those kinds of horrors. There are these kinds of brain struggles going on all the time. And I'm telling you, if you want to get mentally strong, you have got to get away from this society that's throwing everything that makes you a person weak at you every single day. Logically, your Jedi training is dependent. Your optimal Jedi training is dependent on you going out to nature, getting into a beautiful, peaceful place, away from the noise. You cannot identify toxic soup when you're standing in it. You're in a psyop. You're in a society that has become more and more inundated with psyop inside of psyop inside of psyop. If you really want to be a valiant, truth-telling warrior of the truth with an angelic edge like nobody's business, and you walk into a room and real dudes are like, yeah, and fake dudes start to shake and you haven't even said anything. But they know that you're the one dude that will really ruin them, that you will really call them out, that became what they should have, but they did not have the strength to. And they instead donated their real, authentic talent points into becoming a deceiver. Many times just because they fell into the bar life and started talking bullshit all the time, with all their time with bullshit people in bullshit environments, doing bullshit things. And it just drifts, as Napoleon Hill says. You just drift. Everybody in my clique has to have read Outwitting the Devil. baby step. I don't need to have like baby step conversations with my hard performance circle of friends. You're just not there yet. That and so much other study and so much and constant study every single day. I put 5 hours of study into my day before it starts. I get up at 2:30 a.m. and I do study and burpees and stretching and yoga and meditation and blade sharpening. 5 hours. Then I start my day. That's stamina. That's discipline. That is communicating gratitude to above by using all your resources and your time with God is definitely a winner. He just wants to see you win. He just does not, and all the disappointment that he's experiencing, no doubt he appreciates you for doing your best and being loyal to him. There's not many of us. If you're one of them, I love you. I'm always thinking of you, and I hope that you can become your most absolute true. Valiance, strength, honor, value, honesty. Ua.